When you think of farming, you usually think of cows and tractors and barns, right? Well, farming wasn't always like this. This is early farming in plain English. Farming began a long time ago. No, not that long ago. More like here. Farming started off with the spilling of the seed. Women in the tribe collected grain to feed her family and community. Scientists believe that at one time, one of the women might have spilled some grain on the ground. This would be considered a felony. BTW, felony means an offense. Even though this wouldn't seem so bad nowadays, spilling the grain would possibly result in a punishment, and the woman would probably remember where she spilled the grain. What is farming? Farming is the ability to control the growth and reproduce animals and edible plants. Farming was very important. It was the beginning of civilization, and one crucial step in human evolution. Farming led to many improvements in the lives of early humans, and it allowed communities to prosper. People were able to stay in one place as they were not following their food around. They could build permanent, safe shelters to live. Communities would have access to constant and adequate food supply. Because the food was grown in a more or less safe environment, the food was less prone to disease. This meant less people died of sickness or starvation. This, along with having more free time because citizens didn't always need to find food, led to population growth. Farming also led to trade and job specialization. In a small community or town, everyone farmed. Some people were really good at farming. Others were really bad. The people who were really bad began to develop other talents and strengths. Now, the community started to have a variety in occupations. This led to trade. Those who weren't farmers needed food too, so they would trade their creations for food that the farmers grew and raised. Besides plants, farmers also raised animals such as cows, pigs, and chickens. These animals were used for many things, such as work, food, and pets. These animals were slowly domesticated by the farmers and could finally be used to the advantage of people. Let's take Farmer Bob for example. Farmer Bob grows grain. After his daughter spilled the grain, he tried to recreate the situation by purposely spilling grain on his land. Over time, a whole field of grain grew on the land. After this success, Farmer Bob realized that he could grow things wherever he wanted if there were adequate resources, so he sprinkled some seeds on the designated location. So, Farmer Bob tried growing other crops, like strawberries, carrots, and potatoes. This discovery was the beginning of farming. People came to trade goods with Farmer Bob in exchange for his farming skills. Farmer Bob became very confident in his abilities and decided that he should start trying to domesticate animals. With lots of work and elbow grease, Farmer Bob caught and trained a few wild animals. Soon, he had a whole family of wild animals. This is when he began to use them for food. Now, Farmer Bob had a very good and prosperous life. He had all the food he wanted whenever he wanted. Eventually, the whole community learned how to farm, just like Farmer Bob. This was the beginning of civilization, all thanks to Farmer Bob. So everybody got it? Farming was the beginning of civilization. This was Christina, Ellie, and Haley explaining farming in plain English. This video was inspired by Common Craft.